All rise and shout. A loaded edition of What's Trending is on deck. The final live show of 2023 has to include the following topic. The top 5 BYU sports stories of 2023.
What a year.
Full clarity, Jarom and I both submitted our top 5 lists. We did not see them until we just literally got into the script a few minutes ago, so we have not seen each other's lists.
Speak for yourself on when you got in the script.
All right, we'll see. Well, I specifically did not look at what you had.
Oh, they put them in there.
In your top 5s, but they put them in there, yes. So we'll see how close we are, and at quick glance, looks like we're pretty much in lockstep outside of number 5. Yeah. So, Jarom, you count down your top 5 BYU sports stories, and I'll give you mine, then we'll talk about them.
Well, let's just do number 5. That's all right. Men's basketball getting to net number 1.
Number 1.
To me, that was pretty cool.
And they're still number 3, by the way, as of today.
Yeah, which is amazing. They've been top 5 for the last couple of weeks. They've been top 5 the whole time. It has come out the last, 5-6 weeks. So it's been awesome that BYU basketball has played in such a way that they are number 1, got to number 1, and are top 5 in the sorting tool, which is an improved RPI, which is an antiquated metric, as I have crapped on it quite a bit on this program. It has been awesome to see BYU in that. Does it mean BYU is one of the top 5 teams in the country? No. But what it means is they're 11th overall seed in Lenardi's bracket right now. It means you're one of the best teams in the country. And BYU's 14th in the 8 people. It's been awesome to see men's basketball, as quantified by this, emergence and ascension up the rankings in various things, highlighted by net. It's been great.
The only reason men's basketball did not sneak into my top 5 is because the story is still largely unwritten, but it did happen in 2023. The non-conference happened in 2023.
Unlike someone who tweeted at me moments ago, and then I quote tweeted them, you can enjoy the journey of the hike and the process before you get to the top and just look at the view. Like, if you're only judging BYU athletics on how they finished, you may be somewhat disappointed sometimes. You have to enjoy to me, you don't have to, do whatever you want. I enjoy the moments as you go, because you don't know if that's the best it's going to get or not.
It's been such a surprise that it absolutely is worthy of a nod of one of the top stories in BYU sports. And it's not just number 1 in net, although that was the most shocking, right? When that first net ranking
week 2
was released,
2, and then they were 1 the next week.
So they're number 2, and then they jump up to number 1. I was like, oh my gosh, this team is like doing something very, very special.
It couldn't be better in that category.
It's every metric though. They're still number 4 in KenPom and number 3 in net. And you mentioned the number 14 ranking nationally, right? Like it's at number 12 in the coaches poll. All of these
Couldn't told you that. Don't care about the coaches. That's funny though.
It's just wild what BYU men's basketball is doing. So
what's your 5?
Certainly in the conversation. Number 5 for me, and I gave it to them because they brought home, and it's still the only Big 12 title. But BYU women's cross country, they earned the right to be the first team to hoist a Big 12 championship trophy. And to me, that carries some weight because this is the first go-around for BYU athletics in a Power 5 conference. Women's cross country getting that first trophy and being the team that can say, we were the first to be the best of the Big 12 in any sport.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. They brought it in studio. Heavy trophy, by the way.
Yeah. It should be. This is a power trophy.
And Diljit Taylor has done so many remarkable things, national championships. She's coached multiple individual national champions, and now she is a Power 5 conference champion winner as a coach.
She's producing
it's unbelievable.
World-class athletes.
So that is right there at BYU men's basketball. Awesome. Just fascinating stuff.
Love it.
Really, really cool what they accomplished in 2023.
Okay, our number 1, 2, 3, 4 are the exact same.
Yeah.
Without looking. Okay, so number 4, Kenneth Rooks. Kenneth Rooks wins not only the national championship in the steeplechase, then he goes to the USA championships, and he falls down.
Yeah, it's how he did it.
And comes back to win the USA championship, and then he goes to Worlds. Like, are you kidding me? Unbelievable. He falls down over one. He's chasing the steeple, as they say, and then he falls down, and then he gets back up and wins it. Are you freaking kidding me?
It would be one thing to do it like at the NCAAs, right? Let's say he fell down and came back and won the NCAA championship. No, this is to win the United States' most important race in the steeplechase.
And this dude's in, like, your American Heritage class. If you're a BYU student, like, what?
It's how he did it.
That was amazing.
He literally, with that race, became an object lesson for the rest of forever.
Oh, yeah. Never give up. Let's go.
Yeah. Like the Kenneth Rooks story, and everybody was talking about it.
Plus, his name is Kenneth. It just adds to it. I love it. There's like a formality there.
It was so fun to see all these.
Was that the butler on 30 Rock?
Yes.
Was that Kenneth?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many notable, prominent national figures talking about all of this.
Yeah.
You know, see him make an appearance on, you know, the Colin Cowherd Show and PTI and, you know, RG3 and all these dudes are like tweeting about Kenneth Rooks of all people.
That's awesome.
Really, really fun.
Well done.
Okay, at number 3, and it would be a 3-0 deficit by BYU against North Carolina that they overcome in the Elite Eight to get to the College Cup.
This could have been higher. I mean, this at 3, this is, I mean, this could have been number 1 or 2. This was amazing. Obviously, being there, it was incredible to watch. The resolve of not only the players, but the crowd. The crowd was really in it. Once BYU got that first goal, it's like, okay, they've got a shot.
There was a significant shift in energy.
Oh, my gosh. And UNC played it poorly. They played back. They should have played forward again a little bit more because they let BYU be BYU, and then BYU did what it does, which is score goals on its home field. And it was unbelievable. I still can't believe it happened. And it's one of the greatest comebacks ever. It's up there with the Miracle Bowl. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Second ever College Cup for BYU women's soccer and Jen Rockwood. And it happens thanks to that unbelievable win against, the most storied program in NCAA women's soccer history.
And as you'll see in 1 and 2, this is the best game. This is the best sporting moment of the year. The other two don't have to do with those two things. Which brings us to number 2. Puka Nacua.
Unbelievable. And
sort of the Zach Wilson, sort of just like, and frankly, Jaron Hall a little bit, of like guys in the NFL doing stuff. Now, unfortunately, Zach, it didn't work out. But he was the story constantly. Puka Nacua has been the story from BYU.
He's been a story every week of his now, 15-week-old NFL career, 16 weeks.
Yeah.
He's going to break multiple records this season.
We're not talking like BYU guys in the NFL. He's already broken that. We're talking rookie receiving records of anybody in NFL history.
He's more than likely going to have more catches and more yards than any rookie receiver in the history of the game. That's amazing. He's passing ridiculously talented people like Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
What?
Like, he's passing those guys up in these lists.
Our guy from Orem, BYU.
I know.
Let's go.
If C.J. Stroud cannot play well for the remainder of the season, and he's been injured, like he was so good, Puka's going to be the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
I think right now, because Stroud, unfortunately for his sake, has been injured, like what Puka's done over the past couple of weeks and what he did in his latest primetime spotlight, he's now like the leader in the clubhouse. It's wild.
We thought that Puka had a chance to be good in the NFL, but this is like otherworldly, man. It's been so fun. And hopefully Zach can get out of New York, and then Jaron's going to start again. Hopefully he stays healthy in this game because Jaron was playing well when he was healthy, but he's going to get a second start in the NFL this weekend with the Vikings. So it's cool to have
all those
relevant guys from the past couple of seasons from BYU do stuff in the NFL. Obviously, Zach needs a different opportunity here.
It's the superlative guys from BYU. It's just uncanny how that has worked out for these guys from BYU. I mean, they have the best linebacker in the game in Fred Warner. You've got arguably the best offensive rookie in the game in Puka Nacua. You've got the most talked about player in the game, Zach Wilson. You got the most unique player in the game in Taysom Hill. You probably got the most beloved character in Jamal Williams.
And you've got a white safety in Danny Sorg. It's fun to watch what BYU guys are doing. And shout out to Puka, man. Shout out to Makaya.
Yeah.
That's his first name.
Incredible stuff.
It's fun. Everyone's learning all this stuff we already knew about. That's like, this guy's amazing.
Now you know, everybody. Yep. And at number 1, this has got to be it. Because it's changed the entire trajectory of BYU athletics. On July 1st, Christmas came 6 months early.
It really did.
And BYU officially becoming a member of the Big 12 on July 1st is the #1 sports story. It's changed everything.
We waited decades for this. I mean, we're not that old, but like we've waited a long time for this. And it was really fun. And July 1st, we were in the middle of that, right? We were on stage with the llama, super fun. Thousands of BYU fans at the student-athlete outdoor field there, the practice, fireworks, the celebration, the hoopla. It was awesome, man. And it's been a great first year. Obviously, in football, was hoping for a little more. But, to be in the league has been unbelievable. Everyone was great at football media days, men's basketball media days. All our interactions have been super positive. So this is just the beginning. And hopefully the football doesn't break away from the NCAA, and then this gets blown up in a couple years. But so far, so good in the Big 12.
The culmination of that becoming official was super exciting because you find out on September 10th that the official invitation has been extended, but
2021.
You got to wait almost 2 full years before you become an actual member
of
the Big 12 Conference.
Yeah.
And so, when the clock struck midnight, going from June 30th to July 1st, and it was now ratified, if you will. That was
ratified, thank you.
Right? It's July, right?
Was there a notary there?
It's July. We're celebrating freedom, and there's fireworks. So you got to use the word like ratified.
In Utah, it almost doesn't matter what day in July it is, right, with Pioneer Day? Yeah.
But, yeah,
it does legally.
That was a special moment for everybody across Cougar Nation to have that become official. And so fun to watch the different BYU teams now compete in the Big 12. We're looking forward to BYU men's and women's basketball tipping things off in the next week. Women's basketball tomorrow, for that matter.
And then next year, it's a new version of the Big 12 again, with Texas and Oklahoma gone and the Four Corners in, and the rivalry with BYU and Utah taking a new meaning.
Let's go. Our question of the day. You've heard our top 5 BYU sports moments of 2023.
What did we miss?
You can now chime in. You answer. What's your top BYU moment or story from the 2023 athletics calendar? At BYU Cougar Talon J answers 3 words: Olivia, Wade, Katoa. The comeback against North Carolina is a BYU sports moment we will never forget.
Really special. I told her after the game, I go, do you realize you just scored like the biggest goal in BYU history ever? She goes, oh, I did the moment. I started crying. That's why her hands went to her face. Like, Sister Katoa for the win, man. That's crazy. That's what I call any return missionary, BYU. Sister Hernez, Sister Katoa. Well
there are multiple high-level players on the BYU women's soccer team.
A lot of sisters. Let's go. Okay, topic 2. Ben Bywater announces he's returning. That's big news. What does this mean for the Cougar defense, man?
This is the biggest get for BYU the entire offseason. Connor Pay coming back, huge. Braden Keim coming back for more, huge. Miles Davis back out of the transfer portal, awesome. Ben Bywater making the decision to play one more at BYU is just manna from football heaven for BYU and for Jay Hill's defense. Because one of my biggest concerns is, what in the heck is BYU going to do at linebacker?
Yep, with Tuli and Vangpachai out and Bywater. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Not saying that Harrison Taggart and the new guys and Ace Kafusi and Isaiah Glasker, there will be some guys there, but to have a veteran, he automatically steps in and is like your vocal and example leader. He is the guy now on BYU's defense. And so to get a dude that feels like he's going to play in the NFL back for one more year, okay, you have an NFL caliber linebacker leading the charge on defense as the captain of your defense. It's huge. So we all want to talk about transfer portal and everything that BYU is going to get and signing day. Ben Bywater coming back to me is BYU's biggest get in the offseason.
He was all but gone.
He's done.
He was done. And
he told me. He's like, I'm 100% out. He said that to me.
And then the fact that he comes back, Spence, huge news. I don't think that BYU could have got a player of his caliber out of the portal. So I think that recruiting him back is huge, like you mentioned. I am so excited that he's back. He's going to have a huge difference on this team. He's going to have hopefully a monster senior season. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully he can get drafted or undrafted free agent kind of thing. He's going to get a look, absolutely. Early in the season he was getting some NFL buzz. So let's see what he can do next year in the Big 12, get some more film on there, and then get a shot because he immediately is the leader of that defense. Tyler Batty and Ben Bywater coming
Tyler
back.
Batty's another one.
And then Micah Harper coming off an ACL. You have some
Jacob Robinson is back.
Some real talent in the defense and experience. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, Jay Hill has some notable veteran pieces to work with.
That's awesome, man.
Feeling a lot better about that.